Hi, this is Eve with Rose Apple Sage and also Tyto Design, a small design firm located in Skagit Valley, Washington. I am the founder and creator of these endeavors, and today I am going to merge the two and help to process some frustrations that might be happening with my spiritual community. So in this talk today, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of Canva. And you as a creator and a storyteller and possibly a business owner or somebody representing another company that is designing graphics, social media content, flyers, whatever it is that you need, Canva is great. There are some challenges that exist coming from a designer's eye as we're used to dealing with Adobe. Adobe offers all different varieties of manipulation with vector and also photography. So Canva is a distilled version of these tools that is growing with AI, that is growing with new tools of magic wands and all this wizardry that are helping people to not need to learn the foundational tools of design or the actual application of Adobe Creative Suite. So today we're going to talk about all things Canva. But primarily, we're going to talk about pros, cons, and brand kits, and why I utilize brand kits for all of my designs and for my clients, because it's absolutely fantastic. I am Eve. I am a designer with 20 plus years experience. I graduated with a degree in advertising design. So my field and my area of genius in my career is actually not just graphic design, but communication with those designs, which is advertising. And as a spiritual being and someone with integrity, I'm learning that I need to warp my understanding of maybe the agenda of what advertising used to be and placing it into this new realm of authenticity and integrity and compassion. So I think we're all trying to sell something to stay alive and pay our bills. And hopefully you're doing something that pays the bills and gives you a good feeling at the end of the day with purpose and passion. So I'm excited to share with you today some tips and tricks about Canva. Lola, la, 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 Lola. Hi, friend. I can't hear you chewing.
Yes, I'm literally chewing. I did eat breakfast. I ran out and did a bunch of pre-snow errands.
Good.
So this is my breakfast on the go.
That's awesome. That's what I wanted, was for it to be on the lunch break, chat and chew. To chew and chat with your mouth full. It's good to see you. I'm glad you joined.
Well, since I use Canva, I was like, I sat down, I saw the notification, I go, why not? I got in. I'm still dripping wet.
Oh, from this, it's really raining today. It's crazy. Yeah. Chelsea, this is Lola Singer.
Hi.
Hi, Lola. How's it
Hi,
going?
Chelsea. I was literally chewing while I was chatting.
she's-
I just finished chewing.
Oh, that's funny.
So Chelsea's been working with me with Tyto. She's my intern. I think you met her at the art class. She was no, that's right. That was when she wasn't at.
Yeah.
That's right. Usually she helps me set things up, and she loves art. She does art too. So Lola's an artist and a singer, but Lola taught me tarot.
Oh,
and she's one of my mentors. So she's fantastic.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lola. She's helped me a few times, so
yeah,
more than a few.
And then Chelsea's my childhood friend. So she was one of actually the first children outside of my mother and sister that I met. And I remember the day I met her, I was 2 years old.
And you were 2 and you remember.
Yep. And I was just down the woods at the end of this road.
Speaking of which, we met Louise this weekend.
Yeah, Louisa. I saw her with her little boobs. That's so cute. Did you happen to bring a question with you for the talk today?
No, I just figured, since I use Canva for creating collages. That's about all I use it for. So there's a lot more for me to learn.
Okay. So I will get this party started, and if people want to jump in, that's great.
I haven't played around with videos yet on like you've been doing for your video displays or your
Yeah,
video
good.
ads. That would be really cool.
That is something on my list because I think
Yeah.
that I know after all the research I've been doing is that video is hot right now, and we have to stay in that. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. This is Designer's Eye for the spiritual community, where we're going to be talking about loaded issues as us as creators and storytellers who are trying to sell our products or become designers or just sharing on social media better, creating art, whatever that might be. So with this, week 1 in the Designer's Eye room, we are chatting and chewing about all things Canva. And I wanted to start with the pros and the cons of Canva. So the benefit of Canva is it's super easy to use and that anybody has access to it if you have internet and a computer, even a cell phone. So you can manipulate it on your cell phone. Some people prefer that method. I actually prefer using my desktop because I can navigate better. I find that sometimes the cell phone app can get a little bit funky or everything's hiding. So I like desktop view because you can see everything better. One of the cons or the faults of Canva that is limiting is that it doesn't have the ability to create vector art. And vector art is what designers have been using since they've created the software, which is, it's not so much a pixel based, it's a vector where you can manipulate graphics, and it can be expanded to a billboard and still have the crispiest view. So vector art is what a lot of the main designers use for large format printing, also for logo development, because you can manipulate the shapes. What Canva does is it actually takes PNG images and a transparent background. So you really just have a picture without the background that you're going to try to work and layer, but it's not going to be able to expand without losing resolution. So those are called rasterized images. So Canva's con is that you can't manipulate a shape by like bringing a point in. You would have to use Adobe products, Adobe Creative Suite, in order to manipulate the shape at a higher level. Another pro is something that I've recently started using, and that's making videos and reels and editing your YouTube videos is what I've just decided to do.
I don't even know how to, I've never tried editing. I'm scared. I'm intimidated completely.
It's so easy. And we're going to go over a little bit about that and how to just plug in your video and how to even just start and stop it, download it, and then put it on whatever platform you want. So I used to use Adobe Premiere Pro, but my computer, because I haven't cleaned it off, is getting it's getting full and it won't allow me to work the program. So I called Adobe and they're like, oh yeah, you actually need to have more bandwidth. You need to have a bigger badass computer, or you need to take everything off of your computer onto a hard drive. And I was like, I don't have time for that. I know I should. So like every time I get to this point where I want to edit a video and I get in there, it's just this green screen. It's like, I can't do anything. So with that, I've had to merge into Canva video editing and actually found out that it's simple and that it has a lot of the same features that Adobe offers. It's just a little less, it's just like the vector art. You can't really manipulate it as well, but you can add layers of music. You can add layers of other video content over your head. So you can do B-rolls and all the cool things. So I really like that about Canva. And then another pro tip is to save your files through Canva and size your files is so easy. And if I'm just gonna say that my spiritual community sometimes posts these graphics on their multiple channels or stations or holds, and they're not sized right, and so they're getting cut off. And I'm like, I know you just spent a ton of time on that. I know you want to do this, and it's like, but you're cutting it off, and you're losing this opportunity to talk to me. And it just also just devalues kind of your ability to communicate. So if we're on social, like, come and watch my video or share this thing with me. It's like, you can't articulate correctly on these channels, you're gonna start losing confidence in your audience. So that's a pro of Canva. And
I have a contention with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because my understanding is that the most valued thing is authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're being authentic and you are not a whiz at using computers, I don't think people are going to like you any less, as long as you're very straightforward about it.
Correct. I don't think they're going to like you as a person any less, but they may not click or scroll that post. So if you are creating a social media post, I'll still love you, and I'll still probably buy your crystals like I do, but it's like, oh dang, you know, or I don't know if it's a new customer. It's just a clickable thing. Go ahead, Paul.
I think it's more for the fact that like newer people, like the people that follow you already are going to keep probably clicking and participating, but the newer people that are out there, they're
scrolling.
They're just scrolling, and
Yeah.
a lot of them doom scroll, where they just scroll, and unless it like captures their attention, they're not going to stop. And it's because of this whole TikTok era.
Right.
That's what I think. And it doesn't have anything to do with the designer. It has to do with the person who's looking. So
yeah. It's just,
I've noticed.
We're in a fast-paced industry. The other pro is collaborating with teams. So when you get actually pro on Canva, you're going to be able to create teams and have other people access your account and create files that you can work with and open yourself. So a lot of my customers now, I'm actually creating teams with them, and I'll go in and create all this stuff, and then they have access to it and they take it over. So I can just kind of drop in, do what I need to do, and then leave it for them. So that's been really nice.
Can other people, sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When you create a team for, like, let's say you have 5 different clients and you create those teams, they can't come in and see all your other teams, right? They only see the team you created with them.
I guess that's a question you would know because you're on my team. And if you haven't seen that, and I'll show you what I see on my end, but if they don't designate you access, then you can't see it. So my account can access their account. So it's not who's on my team. If I save files through my account, you as my team member, if you have, I guess that's that goes into a lot of different veins, and I'm actually going to have to test that with you because I would say no.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they would have protected that. The other thing that's going on that's a pro and a con is that Canva is getting really competitive. It's getting competitive, and what that means is that they're really like on the fast track to keep up with all these other platforms that are using AI and that are using the magic wand and the batch creation and this fast-paced stuff. And they're very excited about it. What's hard is that we have to keep retraining ourselves to know what these tools are and what they've integrated. So sometimes I just watch their yearly conference, which they'll post on YouTube, and you could just watch and have them give it to you, and they'll talk about the experts and everything that they're doing. So for me, I found that just kind of taking an intensive and watching the conference for Canva every year really sets the stage of what is available to me through Canva. Then I get to choose, do I want to use it or not? Most of the time I'm not using AI through Canva, just because I want it to be somewhat, like you said, authentic and my own art. Like, I want to be able to create this without having the assistance. But if you have a large company and you got to push out 100 posts in 2 months, it's going to be a great tool for batching and all the things. So they're they're marketing to a whole bunch of different layers of users. So just having the discernment for what parts of Canva we use, I think is, so if you get overwhelmed, I just ignore it. So you can take it or leave it if it's helpful or not. Is there any other comments regarding Canva that you guys have really appreciated or have become just violently ill of?
I love the background remover.
Background remover, yes.
Love the background remover.
It's
That is
good.
pretty cool. Yeah.
They even get hair like down. I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, background remover. What about you, Chelsea?
I honestly, I use a lot of the transparency. I like to play with backgrounds. And so, and then I also like to insert things into my images for fun that may not necessarily go there. So I like the fact that you can use AI for that kind of thing also. I created like this, it's a basically someone took a picture, my daughter's boyfriend took a picture of a road that he was driving. And so I went in and put in an old-fashioned car and a huge mouth in the background. So it looks like the car is driving into the mouth.
Okay.
It's actually kind of cool. Yeah. So I like doing that kind of thing for fun. And then also just for like design purposes. I like being able to use the transparency and like make things lighter in the background so that the things in the front can pop out more.
Okay.
Listen, I haven't played with that.
Yeah. You might really like it.
I might, yeah, because I use it to, I'm making tarot collages.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that'll help the wording. If you have any wording or images in the front that you really want to stand out, the background, if you make it a little more transparent, it doesn't have to be drastic, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I hadn't played with it yet.
Yeah, we can actually go over any of that stuff too if you want. Okay, so I'm going to get started with my list. If anything is boring you at any point or you know what I'm talking about, bear with me because I'm going to be sharing this video with our community. So there might be some tidbits of information that I know you guys already have figured out and you do, but maybe it's something that needs to just be revisited. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to go backwards on what I was going to do. I'm going to start with the brand package kit. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to just show what my Tyto Design brand package or kit looks like. This is something that as a designer, I utilize in a different way through all of my logo and branding projects. So Canva has a very similar route where you're going to organize the logos, colors, fonts, photos, graphics, and icons. If you've never seen this before, I would definitely encourage you to go in here, and you can do that by accessing it right here at Brand Kit. So if you go back home, you'll see Brand, and this is only through Pro. So you have to upgrade if you're not in Pro, you have to upgrade to get the branding. And then I have, you can have multiple branding where I have clients of mine or all my other different outlets in your brand kits. And you can add a new logo. You just upload it here and drop them in. You can remove things that are getting outdated or you don't want to use it anymore. The great thing about this is that you can have all your reversibles ready. So if I have a dark background, I have my logo ready to go that's light to go over my dark background. So these are already saved and organized, and all I have to do when I'm designing is just, if I'm going to change it from a light background to a dark background, I just update my logo. And it's super easy. So having this organized and ready for you when you're in design mode is super, super helpful. Your color palette, you can add a palette here. I think you can use a photo, maybe not. They have suggestions, but this is a hex code, this hashtag number, and all of the online color codes have a unique number. with letters and numbers. So sometimes it's best you can copy and paste your color codes and utilize them in different softwares. But I guess what I'll show you is how to extract this from a photo and then take note of your color codes. Because I have this in Adobe, so I already had access to my hex, but if you don't have your brand colors, we can go into a Canva document. We can utilize the colors that that logo has, and we'll just steal that hex code, write it down or copy and paste it into a little note. And then we can come into your color palette and just drop in those numbers. It may take 5 minutes, but it's worth it because you'll forever have your brand colors ready for you. So it is worth the time to set this up 100%. You can also import your font, which is really great. So if I wanted to add a new font here, I could access my computer and go to my fonts. I don't know if you can see my screen now. Probably not because I'm sharing it. Now, sorry. Forgot that I'm not on full screen mode. So you can upload your fonts if you've purchased fonts for your branding. And then you can set the size that you want to have consistent. But it's going to change because as your documents get bigger or smaller, this text may take over if it's a 56, or it might be, you know, super small if it's a big document. So, you know, this is just kind of to get you started, and then you can play with it in your design. But I like to have my fonts, subheadings, body copies, quotes, captions ready for me again. You can create your brand voice. This is great when you have a team and you're sharing, or you need somebody to work on your brand.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that term.
Which part? Brand voice?
Brand voice, yeah, and I imagine some of the people on the replay won't know what that is either.
Yeah, so your brand voice is it's your persona. It's how you're going to be speaking of, let's say, so Tyto Design is branding for a multi-tiered industry. The Tyto brand is always going to be clean and tidy with 3-color maximum, you know, so like you kind of start setting up your guidelines for your voice. Sometimes it's going to be playful or friendly or corporate. So the voice of it's kind of like, is this brand, do you want it to say this is organic? If it was like a game, a video game, it would say like, it needs to be in the mystical arts of planetary involvement, right? But it needs to always have some element of earth in there. Like if I were to talk esoteric or weird, you just kind of start setting the stage.
It's like a declaration of what your brand stands for.
Yeah, kind of like, how do you want it to speak? Your branding is your persona. It's your niche. It's kind of like, how do you want to present your brand to the world? If you had to sum it up, you know, like Lola, you would say, you know, you're mystic, but you use gold because of the power of alchemy and design, you know, so you could talk about why gold is in your brand. Why do you like the purple color, and what does that mean? So it's whatever you want, but your brand voice is just like, how are you going to describe this? If you were to describe your brand, how would you describe it?
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, so like if I were to share something that didn't know my brand, they would just kind of go in there. Oh, it's whimsical, or it's corporate. Oh, it's right. So like just setting it up. You can add photos. This is not the best example of photos because I don't have my photos uploaded yet for Tyto, but here is where you can actually utilize your stock photography or free images that you use on your website, and you can place them into your Canva account so that you can reutilize your branding. You could have a ton of images on here. You could also have transparent PNGs. So if you have elements or like that part of your collage, that person, you could take that, extract that PNG and place it into your photos. So now you have a piece of your graphic as a cutout PNG. It's really interesting because this, to me, I find if I can have as much in here available for me, ready to go, the better. So if it's products like one of our customers is a restaurant, so I've uploaded probably 30 photos of the main images that we're using to advertise with. So putting in your event pictures or your if you had a photographer come to take pictures of you, plop all these in and utilize them because maybe they're going to be useful later. Graphics, this is a good example of how I've taken my Adobe Illustrator PNGs and I've saved them for Canva. So when I want to start talking about my connections, I'll have this element ready to go. I'll have my mobile view ready to go. So all of these I just took from when I was designing my website, but I took the time and I extracted each piece into PNGs so that I could then play with them again when I'm campaigning my graphics. So a lot of this is just setting up for success is the best way I can talk about it. Icons can be like favicons, feathers. It's kind of like a logo, but it's more of the little pieces. So again, you can customize this however you want. That's the brand kit. Is there any questions?
So you brought those over you created those in like Adobe, correct?
Yeah.
And then you brought them over. Okay.
Yeah. And this is something you can do in Canva too. So I used Adobe, but like I was saying with Lola, if you were to have one of your murals and you were to take a piece of that art, you would create a new document, and I'll show you how to do that. And you place it on there, you'll save that PNG into your folder. Then you bring it into your brand kit. Let's say that you're going to be using that a lot and you know that. So it's just taking that time, 5 minutes. I just always try to look at this as like it's time. Your 5 minutes putting it in here separated is going to save you so much time if you use it a lot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, either use Canva extract as PNG or use Adobe or whatever program you're using. They don't have to be PNGs. Sometimes like I have this gradient here that I use. And so I wanted to keep my background colors because this is really nice when I'm creating a graphic. I'll just plop in my background gradient and then I can overlay all my stuff. And I don't have to worry about creating a gradient. It's already there. So I find this to be super helpful. And if you have a team, like I'll show you, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different or 3 other clients right now. That I'm not going to open that because it's private, but I can go in here and I can access and design for her with her brand kits. So it's just super friendly and it's great. But again, they need pro. So if you have somebody that you need to hire to work with you, make sure that you get pro so that they can access your team and do all the things. Okay. Okay, Chelsea. Okay, so what I'd like to get to next is, let's see. I think we should talk about setting up, using this, it's kind of the magic wand here, where you can say, I've got all these preset templates that Canva's created. Lola, do you use these at all? Or do you create from a new design?
I do use, well, yes and no. I don't generally just borrow what they've already created.
Okay.
I tend to like to start with a blank.
So you create a design here, you just create a design and start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, that's what I like to do, but that's just because I like things to be more unique, and I get a feeling that I'm not the only one here who does.
Yeah, for sure. But the cool thing about this is you can do a custom size, but
Yep,
as
I do that.
yeah, as I talked about before, if we're going to be utilizing like for your Facebook videos, it's really easy just to put in or I'm sorry, YouTube, a YouTube video template. You can do an intro, like and subscribes, shorts, chapter.
I'm gonna have to talk to you one of these days because I get how you make the cards. I just don't know how you insert them
The cards.
into the video, which is the editing part.
Yeah, I'm going to show you. So what I would say is if you're going to be creating things that are straightforward. Like I just did a YouTube video and I need to make the thumbnail, right? So then you could just do YouTube thumbnail. Search YouTube thumbnail. And it gives you, I think this is through mine, but you can talk about categories. That's weird. Ignore me. I think that this is asking to search my own. It's interesting. But here's videos. Maybe we should just start with videos. I think that's really great. Here's Facebook cover, Instagram Reels, Instagram post. So this is where you can't go wrong. You could just start your Instagram post, take off everything that they have, and just plug your brand in. But you know that you have the right size. So sometimes the quickest route to not having to think too much is like, I need to create a Facebook post real quick or an Instagram post. I'm just going to click on this. And there it is. That's to the dimension that I need. And then I can go into my styles and I can find my brand kit. And so I'd want to change it to my Tyto. And now all of a sudden I've got my color palettes. I can just keep changing until I get the color that I want. And then I add in, if I scroll down, templates, my brand, you guys can see that right there. So once I click on my brand, I'm going to see all my logos, my colors, my fonts, photos, graphics.
Nice.
So there, it's super easy. Now I'm going to design a little post. And I say I want to do text, so say, let's go. Something fun. So I could have made this super complicated and not known my colors, or would have been off brand or whatever. But now I know that. Anyway, so I'm not going to get too much into design, but this is why I like the brand kits, because I can pull all the stuff in here, and then you just can change your text size however way you want. So that's how to keep your brand integrity or the brand voice going. And you could do carousels with this. All you got to do is add a page, and then you just kind of keep going. If I want to reuse this layout, I just select all. I Command C copy and Command V paste. Now I've got my logo exactly the same. Let's go to Oz or whatever, you know, and then I can change this to this. And
I have a question.
now we're keeping things consistent. Yes.
So now you've made a second page and
Yes.
altered it. Now, when I've done that in the past, and then I go to download it, it won't download.
Okay.
It
So
won't-
let's just,
So I have to get rid of one of them completely. So it's like I either have to pick one or the other.
are you on Pro?
Yes.
Okay. So let me show
So
you.
I don't know if it's a glitch in the program or I just can't figure it out.
Okay. So do you use share?
But I go to share,
Okay.
and then I go to download.
Okay.
And it'll look like it's downloading, but it actually won't.
So it says all pages too.
Wait a minute, that's what I'm missing. All pages. Okay, I haven't been clicking on that.
Yep. So you can select by the check boxes that you only want to download page 1, or you can download all.
That must be what I've been doing wrong. I
Yeah.
haven't been checking the boxes.
And the cool thing is
Then
that it's
then
gonna,
it gets stuck and doesn't know what to do.
so the only thing is it's gonna save it as a zip folder. It's a compressed file system so that the web can move this little seedling of information around correctly without losing its information. So when you save that, that zip folder is going to show up. You have to double click on the zip folder, and then you'll see all the different, and you can change your names here. So if you want to have like page 2 is Oz, and it'll say that. So when you save your files, you'll see, oh, this is Let's Go. That's Oz. So if you just want to use one or the other, But when you're building your carousel, you can post in that order that you created. So it's just super fast to do it this way, and and then save multiple pages. The other thing I wanted to share, if we're all still on speed, I'm trying not to talk too fast, okay, is this amazing tool that I've fallen in love with. If you can fall in love with technology, anyway, even being too lovey on this thing, but you can create brand templates and you can tell it where you want it to go. So I like to create folders. You can create a new folder here, but I'll just say my approved designs. I always like to save my templates in there. You could even create a folder that's just for your brand templates. And then I'll add it and then publish it. So now when I go to my homepage, let's see, my approved designs, it'll be in here. I don't know what it's called. Let's go. It should be in here. But if I were to create a new one, I can select this brand template. So let's get out of here. Okay, so then I have a brand template now. It says right there, brand template. But you also have templates here. I also have projects. So I can find that however I want to. So this is a good opportunity for you to organize your files as you want. But if you look right here in the top, there's brand templates right there. So all of this approved designs and templates that I built are going to go in here. So it'll say, do you want to use this template or edit the original? You most definitely want to use the template unless you want to edit the original for some reason. And so now I've got a new file, copy of Let's Go, where I can change the name and do whatever. And then maybe I want to change the size and make it a story. So I can copy and I'll just redesign here.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Oh, really? Okay. So that's the magic switch. And the magic switch is going to be your best friend when you're campaigning. And it even has browse by category. So if you wanted to create a video, you could say, I want to make a YouTube video with this. Okay. You know, you don't have to use this, but yeah, I'm actually going to redesign it. Now it's sized to go on YouTube platform without getting cut off. This is the part where I was telling you, like, it's that easy. It's just they already give it to you. You just have to get in there. So with this trajectory, I'm already flowing into what I wanted to talk about today, which is creating videos. I think all of us are ready to talk about that because it's super easy and it's available through Canva. Okay, so if you notice down here, this is kind of a new view, and this is where, so I can't get my screen to merge. You can talk about duration, or you can talk about clips. But here's where you can add and animate, and I can add a video. So let's go here to my uploads and see. I have, oh, you can go right here. So there's images, videos, and audio, right? So if I don't have any videos in my brand kit, I can upload these videos this one I found online, and you can just drag it like an image. So now you've got, you can see it's 38 seconds long, and your timeline is right here. So your preview mode, your grid view, it's right here. And my duration. And then you can move your view of what's being seen here. So you're just going to grab and drop. This could be another video of how to edit this, but I can also move my video clips to show that first. You can shrink it down. So let's say I only want it to be 3 seconds. Now it's 5 seconds. And that's just that little handle there. So the thing with video editing is that I encourage everybody to take some time to do some tutorials, to go onto YouTube and watch and spend 15 minutes, and maybe I can create the video, but it's such a learning curve, and you have to kind of pause the show, build your video, and then kind of go back and play with it, because it's going to be a little frustrating, and I don't want you to give up, because I'm evolving still with this program. I've only been using Canva for 2 years, so I'm not a total expert, but I'm utilizing it. And then there's more that you can do, like show timing. If I wanted to show timing up here, I can have this video come in later. So let's say, and this is a trick I can go back and show you. Let's say that, oh. And I also have, if you're on a Mac, you do Command Z and it goes backwards, or you can use these little arrows up here. So if you mess up, you just hit back arrow. So let's say I was playing my video and then this comes in later. So let's say you have an introduction, and then you want to reveal that. So if I was having like a B-roll, like I did a video where I used this actual video, but I didn't want to play the whole time. So you can layer your graphics, your sound, and your videos to play. So this timeline is going to show you all the things. You can have templates through Canva where they can have a video set up for you with all the transitions. That's easy to use. Otherwise, you can add a transition right here. So I want to have things color swipe, line wipe, stack. I'll do flow. So now you'll see that this transition, so it won't be like clunky, click, clunk, clunk. And then the cool thing is what I just found out is you can apply between all pages. Now, every time that all the pages that I have now have this transition. So watch this. So there's my little water, which I can fade in if I want. Now it's, each one's going to slide. So you could have the most, you know, it really also comes down to being creative and having a vision for your project. That is saving me a lot of headache. That's why, again, I would encourage you to start with templates, because that's how I kind of got familiar with how they show things. And then if I had a problem, like I didn't know how to layer my videos, I just went on YouTube and I figured out how to do this by right clicking and then add the hide timing. So it's all about timing. And that allows you to stack them. And then for audio, you can upload any music that you've downloaded, or you can go into elements here or design and look up music for dogs. I think that's going to be right here, audio, sorry. So you have to go to audio right here, and it has all this music, and you can test it. Okay, let's say I want to use that. All I gotta do is click on it, and it's gonna plop that sound now into an underbelly layer. And you can see how long this music is. So now if I play my video, and then you can alter sound, and let's say you wanted to do audio effects here. You can fade it in, fade it out. Gonna beat sync it. I haven't used that. That's kind of cool. Also, if you wanted to, if you had two things happening and I wanted this music to not play when I'm talking, you can mute it here. So you can cut this, duplicate track, and then you could maybe have two different things happening. You could have your voice here and that there. So it's just, again, it's going to take time to develop and get familiar with it, not get frustrated, but everything is here that you need. And you can utilize your still graphics. So like Lola, for you, you could literally take your collages and you can create movement. So, I mean, it could be another really fun experience for you. And you can even make videos just with the slightest amount of like breathing or something. Or you could talk about it and show it and you just layer over, you know, so like you have a plan, like I want to show my art when I talk about my art, then you can just create a video and place it on top of the other one and trim it and stuff, right? So, like I said, I've done video editing, so I've got it figured out. Believe me, before I learned, I was an absolute like, I have no idea what and how you did that. I thought people were magicians. Like I was like, I don't know how you did that. That's crazy. But when 2020 hit and I had nothing to do and I was on unemployment, I spent so much time learning Adobe Premiere Pro by myself, just researching and plugging in and problem solving. And there'd be days I'd be working for 8 hours straight, just trying to figure out this thing I did wrong. And through that process of learning, I'm now able to go into Canva and say, oh my gosh, this is super easy. This would have taken me so much time to do in Adobe. I'm so grateful now that Canva is available for this because I can turn over my videos. So it's just great. And they have stock. So you can, you know, have people don't always just want to watch the talking head. So if you want to add video layers over your talking head, that's great. So is there any questions or comments about the feature of Canva's video?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you wanted to put your logo in the middle of what you've got for your film, how would you do that?
Okay, sorry, say that again.
Well, you showed us how you could take the logos and put them in the front or the back.
Yeah.
What if you wanted to insert it right in the middle of the movie part?
Oh, so like
where
you
the
want,
waterfall is.
let's say you wanted your logo like over top of that.
No.
No?
So you've got the waterfall image, right?
Yeah, the video.
And that's moving.
Yeah.
How would you insert your logo in the middle of that?
Watch this. Super cool. So you go to your brand. Tyto Design. You have a still over a video. So it works as layers. And what you can do is you can animate. I don't know if you've done any animation yet.
Mm-mm.
So you can tell the logo to do that. You can, like what Chelsea was saying, fade things. You could fade it. So it could be like an overlay. And then you could
Well,
just,
that's really cool. I guess I'm not expressing myself. I get, so now you've got two things that you could call an end card, correct?
yeah.
So how do you move one of those into the middle of the video?
These guys?
Yeah.
You would just copy and paste the content. So you duplicate, let's say I have this, I love the waterfall and I want to show my timing, show timing. So here I'm like, I want that whole waterfall. And again, this could actually be down here, but this is because I wanted to see things. So let's say I wanted to have, let's go. So I just select all that. So let me get bigger because we have all the space now. All you gotta do is copy it. Copy. Now click onto this frame. Right click, paste. Allow. And now I've got it set right there. So what you can do is you could duplicate this frame to be your in. So let's say duplicate page. Okay, now I've got two of those same ones. Let's say I wanted to open and close the same ones. You just drag it to the end. Like that. And this one, I'm going to change this graphic to this. So that's where it's really just about understanding that these are just pages with animations or videos. Whereas it's just like Canva with stills that you're able to create transitions, animation, storytelling, basically. And then you just pause it, you just click on the one you want to work on. Like, I don't know, like, I don't want that there anymore. I want to design this. So these guys are here talking about something, right? So you can do all the stuff that you want to do. The animation was preset. So now I can go back here and just watch my animation. So that's how it works. And then you'll notice that the transition is not applied here, but you can add that here, or you could just add between all pages. Once you find the one you like, just click on it and you'll see that option. Where it went. Apply to all pages. Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it wasn't exactly what I was asking because I don't know how to ask it correctly,
Okay.
but it got around to it.
Okay. Good. Yeah, so this is great tool for when you're talking. I just uploaded I did a random podcast because I was called. You know, spirit calls you and you're like, or you have this message and you're like, I have got to talk right now. Turn your thing on, start recording it. And if it needs to get out, just plug it in here and make it like I spent not very much time at all with creating this podcast, which would have taken me 2 to 3 days to edit in Adobe Premiere Pro. So
Wow.
I'm a big fan of this, and I can show you my projects so that you can see kind of like the end result of what I was trying to get there. If I can find it. Been doing a lot of things. Here it is. So this is my clip, but I'm going to show timing. So you can see that I have, actually under there's me, but I wanted to show this waterfall while I talked.
The holy flow is when
And down below that,
surrender
my
and we connect to our hearts, to our higher self, anchor in everything that's coming.
So that's how it transitioned. So I was able to soften it, add the transition, and then there's my introduction that I've saved. And I plugged this in. And so that's something that I made in Premiere Pro or Rush or something. So like I pre-created my intro. And you could hire somebody online. There's a bunch of people that do this kind of stuff. And you say like, this is my stuff, animate it for my intro. So
The holy
it's super, that was like the super easy intro thing here. And then down here, for some reason, it's not showing you, but that's the sound box right here where my voice is. And so you can do fades in, turn things up. I can mute myself if I wanted to, or I can mute the music. I don't know why. Oh, look at that, 111. You guys see that? And that's work and action for Number Code Geeks. In the Trinity. So anyway, I hope that helps kind of get a less of a overwhelming feeling about creating videos, is realizing that you can do anything on here. It's endless. It's just a matter of your willpower to proceed as you get frustrated and research and plug in and go and go and go, because all the information is ready for you. It's just a matter of you having a vision in your mind of what you want as a creator and a storyteller, and then saying, this is a tool that I can plug in all these things. So now that I have my video done, I can extract it and resize it for a Facebook post or a reel, you know, like, so it's like endless. So the big thing right now with the industry is that we need to campaign, meaning that we have to create the one main point of context and then push it into all of our other platforms and all the other ways of messaging. So again, if you have that plan in your mind or you write it down, that you need to create it and then push it out to these 5 places, just have a checklist, push it out, save your files, and spend like half of your day just producing content that is on all of your platforms. So that's my advice on that. Chelsea, do you have any comments about videos?
Sorry, my earbuds fell off. No, that looks pretty easy. Actually, it's reminds me of my animate class, but a lot simpler.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So I do have a question, but that's because I'm new to this. So you never risk altering the original because you've been uploading it. Is that correct?
Yeah, you'd want to create a brand template or just make a copy of it for sure. Because you may, like I've done in the past, if I didn't make a new copy, I'll go over it and I'll ruin it and then I don't have it anymore.
Well, that's what I was concerned about, losing your original. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why if you make the brand templates, that's really helpful. Or just making sure that you have, I find physical checklists, if I write down and scribble it, and when you're done with the project, save it, put it in save it into a folder that says approved designs or YouTube videos or whatever it is. And then the next step would be make a copy of it or transform it, magic size it into this new thing, and then start this new one. Because you're gonna be so mad at yourself if you go over
That's what
something.
I'm thinking. I would hate to lose the original.
Yes. That's why it's here, but I am so guilty of not saving it. So I'll be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm just gonna keep going in, and then I'm like, oh no, I totally lost all my work. But luckily there's that cool tool where you can back arrow
Mhm.
and just kind of back up. I've literally had to go back, like back arrow 100 times because I totally forgot to save it. I was like,
Oh no.
but it, when in a pinch and you need to use that back arrow, use the back arrow. But
You can always create also create duplicate pages of your, like when you're working on one. If you really like it already, you can just create a duplicate of that. Work on the one that you're have an idea with, so you don't ruin the original. Like
yeah,
that, I've done that before.
That
Actually, it
sounds
was
like a smart plan.
Yeah.
yeah. So we're at 12 o'clock. I wanted to wrap it up with just a little bit of some research that I've been doing in the industry, because we're in 2024 and a lot of us are trying to explore new ways of communicating our products or our services and doing it in a way that's keeping up with the Joneses or whatever is trending out there. But I think, yeah, videos are in right now. So creating reels, TikToks, whatever it is in that traditional thing. But in this subject, this is a designer's eye for the spiritual community. What I'm also finding is to trust your intuition and trust your inner compass when it's time to talk, when it's time to share, when you're editing your artwork. Like, does this feel good? Am I ready to give this to the world? And really trusting your inner guidance with the story that you're telling. Like, you're literally sharing your life and all that you are with a large amount of people. And we're all doing different things, whether it's a company that we are doing work for or we're creating art. I guess I don't have things. The main thing I want to say is create content that's going to build community. And what I mean by that is, like, get an authentic you out there so that you can attract the people that are in your tribe, that you can attract the right type of people that you can have events with, like at Mystical Wares or the MeWe fairs or whatever it is. Like, we're going to start building our tribe and our community, not on the digital compound, but by taking this as an opportunity to find the people, then to go and have human interaction. So as much as I love creating visual content, I would much rather see everybody in person and be at an event. But it's a great networking tool. So if you just utilize it in that mindset of, like, I'm just building a place where I can find my tribe or more of people like me. So that's helping me to not be so shy and stay motivated. But I hope this gave some value to you guys. And
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome. And so what
Thank
I'd like
you.
to do is continue this weekly. And as it evolves and you do start finding that you're going to start creating videos and you have a hiccup or a problem in our group, you can go ahead and just screenshot the problem and I'll respond to it. Or you can hold the question until next Tuesday and we can actually share screens and actually do the work. This was a really much more of me talking than like hands-on stuff. But yeah, I just want to help make sure that everybody's able to create and storytell and not get frustrated.
Me, it helps me to break out of that like everyday slump and then get into actually designing again. So
Yay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
This was very helpful.
Yeah, I love you both and thank you for joining this Zoom with me.
Thank you for holding
Thank
this
you.
Yeah.
space. Yes.
Yes, and I'll see you next week, hopefully. If not, make sure that you play and have fun on Canva and then just drop a line with any type of problems along the way that you need my help with, because I'd love to help.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.